facing the music. Every time I betrayed her, my wife tortured me with questions, as if she were an evil cardinal stretching me on a rack. Who's Angela? And why is she texting you at 1 in the morning? Crank of the winch, click. What's this red acrylic fingernail doing in your pants pocket? Crank of the winch, click. And always that lined face in the background peering at me from the darkness, smirking at my pain. My stomach churned as I pulled the Audi into the driveway of our Victorian fixer-upper. Ghostly fingers of dawn's pale gold flexed across the asphalt sky from the east and threatened the maternal swaddle of darkness. I should have been home hours ago. The battered briefcase holding her lawyer's unsigned divorce papers lay within reach on the passenger seat. I grabbed it and heaved myself out of the car. The briefcase fell open, and the papers glided everywhere, flapping like sparrows onto the dew-laden grass. The windows of my Victorian-style house were bleak and unsettling. I could swear I saw a hunched figure behind the curtain, but it might have been my nerves. Or a portent? The facade of our unhappy home had been deteriorating when I bought it, but I could have sworn it had solid bones. I'm not so sure now. I could just make out a workman's abandoned ladder reaching up to the antique gables at the side of the looming structure. A wrinkled and warped sack of unused shingles sat forgotten at its base. A fog enveloped the house like an overbearing mother, heavy, inescapable, yet ephemeral and impossible to embrace. The sound of my car door closing grounded me. I needed to focus. My story. Think. Out with the boys. Drinks. Laughs. No. An overused lie. Sweat stippled my upper lip, even though the pre-dawn was nippy. I love you, I need you, don't leave me, I'll change. Better, but too cliché. Should I suggest more marriage counseling? Oh God, not again. The first time had quickly become an iron maiden of one-sided grievances. The second time, probing questions and dead silence. I retrieved the divorce papers from the grass. They had wilted from the dew. I dabbed the sheets on my pants, placed them back in the briefcase, and snapped the clasps. An echo, like a gunshot, filled the front yard. The sound too loud, but reassuring. I was still there in my perfidious self. I sniffed the collar and cuffs of my pale blue shirt, checking for the lingering bouquet of my most recent indiscretion. I should have taken a shower. I had to cage the relentless hunger and the yearning that traumatized my past and disabled my future. If my mother hadn't been so distant, yet so careful to carry out the trappings of motherhood without the emotional investment, maybe it would have been easier to feel love. Outright rejection of me, her child, would have narrowed my focus on one partner, a man overboard, forever clinging to one buoy. Acceptance, on the other hand, would have grounded me, but caught in between, emotional purgatory. Now, if I explained this to my wife, would she forgive me? I took a deep breath and shambled to the front door, a gaping hellgate eager to gulp me whole. On the other side resided hope or rejection. I wiped the sweat from my thumb and pressed the opaque panel on the biometric lock attached to its time-worn oak host. The mechanism clacked and swung open on oiled hinges. I stepped into the dim foyer. I opened the briefcase and removed the unsigned papers, moving into the parlor like a repentant wraith, ready to hand them back and plead my case. Intermittent gray flashes from a muted TV and the strains of Mozart's Lacrimosa drifted in the air. A lone figure rose slowly from the sofa back to me. A diffuse light seeped through a white robe while dust swirled in the weak illumination. The ominous figure turned like smoke coiling away from a flame and faced me. "She's gone," croaked my mother, lips curling into a cruel smile. "I'm not surprised. Again and again I reminded you that you push her too far. You never listen." The flocking on the antique parlor walls seemed to shimmer. The papers fell from my hand. My legs trembled. "Sit down," she commanded, turning toward the kitchen. "I'll make you a sandwich."